Many dream of power, wealth, or freedom, yet most are destroyed by a single, invisible error in their thinking. It is not fate that robs them, but a flaw in judgment, one they never even notice until their ambitions lie in ruins. I am Niccolo Machiavelli. I have watched men rise like gods, only to fall like fools, betrayed not by their enemies, but by their own minds. The world does not forgive mistakes in perception. One error in thought, and your enemies need do nothing. This is the silent assassin of dreams, a thinking mistake so subtle, so seductive, that it blinds even the most intelligent to the traps they set for themselves. Today, I will show you how to see it before it claims your destiny. There is no greater weakness in a human mind than its craving for comfort. Not comfort of the body, soft beds, warm meals. No, those are harmless indulgences. The true danger lies in the comfort of illusion, the stories we tell ourselves so we may avoid seeing the world as it truly is. Why? Because truth is brutal? Truth demands you sacrifice your pride, your excuses, and sometimes even your hope. And so, most will choose the lie. They wrap themselves in delusions like armor, believing it will protect them. But illusion is not armor. It is a coffin. Look through history, and you will see this pattern repeated with almost mathematical precision. Kings convinced of their invincibility. Merchants believing the market would always rise. Generals thinking loyalty could be purchased with gold alone. Each built their fate on lies, and then wondered why their empires crumbled. Take the Florentine nobles of my own time. They believed France would never dare challenge their alliances. They believed fortune would favor them simply because it always had. When the French army marched south and crushed their illusions beneath steel and fire, many asked, how could this happen? But the answer was simple. It had already happened, inside their minds, long before the first soldier crossed the Alps. Now ask yourself, what illusions rule your life? That talent will guarantee success. That good intentions earn reward. That life is fair. These are not harmless ideas. They are chains disguised as comfort. And while you believe them, your enemies, those who see the world as it is, move quietly to take what you think destiny owes you. Illusion seduces not through logic, but through relief. It whispers, don't worry, you are on the right path. Things will work out. It feeds pride, numbs fear, and blinds you to threats. It is the sweet poison of the complacent, the drug of those who want results without suffering the pain of reality. But reality does not care what you believe. A king who rules by illusion will fall the moment steel meets flesh. A merchant who trusts hope over numbers will watch his coffers bleed dry. And you, if you cling to comfortable lies, will watch opportunity pass like a shadow, beyond your reach, while you convince yourself you are ready. Consider the psychological mechanics of this trap. The human mind is not built for clarity, it is built for survival. Your ancestors did not ask, what is true? They asked, what feels safe enough to believe so I may wake tomorrow without despair? This instinct lingers. It is why men in failing ventures double their bets rather than face loss. It is why lovers stay in dying relationships, telling themselves the other will change. It is why dreamers chase shortcuts rather than strategy. And it is why so few ever rise to power, because power requires cold eyes, not warm illusions. Ask yourself now, would you rather be comforted or be correct? Would you rather feel good or win? Those who choose comfort become pawns. Those who choose clarity, even when it cuts, become masters. When I advised princes, I told them this: the man who sees the world as it is, not as he wishes it to be, commands an advantage as great as an army. For reality obeys no one, but it can be studied, understood, and used. Illusion, however, cannot be bent to your will. It collapses under the first gust of adversity. So strip yourself of it. Tear away the pleasant lies, no matter how they soothe you. Look at your life, your ambition, your enemies, and ask what is real. What is not? Then act only on what is real. For those who do not, the next mistake will not merely cost them comfort. It will cost them everything, and yet there is a deeper danger. One illusion far more lethal than all the others combined. An error not of belief, but of hope itself. We speak of it next. Hope. It is the most seductive lie ever whispered into the ear of the ambitious. It tells you that time will solve your problems, that fortune will favor you because your dreams are noble, that tomorrow will bring the opportunity you deserve. But hear me well, hope without strategy is a weapon turned against its wielder. It does not move you closer to victory, it chains you to inaction while convincing you that progress is being made. Look back to the fall of Constantinople in 1453. The Byzantine leaders knew the Ottoman Empire was advancing. They knew their defenses were weak. Yet many comforted themselves with hope, believing that Western Christendom would come to their aid, that a miracle would arrive before the city walls fell. But miracles do not march, cannons do. And hope was no match for the steel and fire that tore through their defenses. The city fell, not because they lacked courage, but because they mistook hope for preparation. Does this sound familiar to you? How many times have you waited for luck, timing, or destiny to deliver what only strategy could secure? You tell yourself, something will work out. But is that thought a plan or an excuse? Understand this: the mind loves hope because hope requires nothing. No sacrifice, no risk, no bloody hands or sleepless nights. Hope is effortless, and therefore it feels safe. Strategy, however, is merciless. It demands clarity. It forces you to ask, where am I weak? What must I do now to gain power later? Who must I outthink, outmaneuver, or outlast? These are uncomfortable questions. And so, most avoid them, clinging to hope instead, like a child holding a broken sword and calling it a weapon. Even in matters of the heart, the pattern holds. A man waits for a woman to notice his worth, but makes no move to display it. A lover hopes their partner will change, but makes no strategy to enforce respect or command desire. They confuse patience for strength, when in reality it is surrender wearing the mask of virtue. Why do we do this? Because hope provides emotional relief. It whispers, things will improve without your intervention. It shields you from anxiety by replacing action with fantasy. But the price of this comfort is lethal. It leaves you unprepared for the moment reality strikes. Strategy, by contrast, feels cold. It feels ruthless. But it is the only path to control. The prince who plans for betrayal can crush it before it blooms. The merchant who strategizes for famine thrives while others starve. And you, if you learn to replace hope with method, can seize opportunities before others even realize they exist. There is a psychological principle at play here: optimism bias, the tendency to believe the future will favor us more than evidence suggests. It blinds kings, leaders, lovers, and dreamers alike. It blinds you, too, if you are not careful. It makes you underestimate risk, overestimate luck, and forget that life punishes hesitation as surely as it punishes arrogance. So let me ask right now, in your pursuit, do you have a plan? A clear, precise map of action? Or are you hiding behind hope, telling yourself that clarity will come later? Later is the graveyard of ambition. Later is where empires collapse, relationships decay, and dreams wither. Strategist knows this and acts now, not recklessly, not impulsively, but with deliberate calculation. Hope can be useful if it serves strategy. It can fuel endurance. It can keep the mind sharp under pressure. But alone, it is nothing but a soft pillow for those sleeping through the march of opportunity. And yet, there is a trap even more dangerous. Not just hoping without strategy, but convincing yourself the shortcut is the strategy. The seduction of easy victories. The deadliest illusion of all. There is a path that destroys more men than defeat ever will. It is the path of easy victories. The shortcut. The promise that you can reach greatness without paying the full price. It whispers to you in moments of ambition, there is a quicker way. You can bypass the struggle. You can take what others have earned without earning it yourself. And most cannot resist this voice. Why? Because the human mind hates pain. It hates uncertainty. It hates the slow march of effort and endurance. And so, when a shortcut appears, it feels like a gift from fortune. But fortune is rarely generous. It offers sweet fruits only to hide the poison in their seeds. History has no shortage of fools who believed in shortcuts. Think of the mercenary princes of Italy. Instead of building armies of loyal citizens, they hired soldiers for quick power. Why train men? Why endure the slow process of discipline and loyalty when you can pay for strength today? They thought themselves clever. But mercenaries fight for gold, not glory. And the day their purse grew light, so did their defense. These princes lost everything, not because they lacked ambition, but because they sought speed instead of security. Now tell me, where in your life are you tempted by shortcuts? Do you dream of influence but avoid the grind of skill and reputation? Do you seek wealth but crave schemes that promise more with less? Do you want love but try tricks instead of building true value? Be honest, because this is the disease that kills kings and beggars alike. Shortcuts seduce because they masquerade as intelligence. You tell yourself, I am not lazy, I am strategic. But ask, is this truly strategy, or is it desperation dressed in reason? A real strategy sacrifices in the present to dominate the future. A shortcut sacrifices the future for comfort now. In psychology, we call this temporal discounting, the bias that makes immediate rewards feel more valuable than distant ones. Your mind tells you, why wait years for success when you can have it now? But this is the reasoning of gamblers and weak men, the kind who win for a night and beg for a lifetime. Consider the story of Cesare Borgia. He did not take shortcuts. When fortune handed him power, he did not rush to indulge or celebrate. He fortified his position, built loyal forces, and eliminated threats one by one, step by step, precise, relentless. This is why his name still lives in the annals of power, while countless others, men who lunged for quick crowns, died forgotten. Understand this, shortcuts are not merely paths, they are traps. They rob you twice. First, of time, because when the shortcut collapses, you must start over, often weaker than before. Second, of discipline, because every shortcut erodes the will to endure. Each time you choose the easy path, you make yourself softer, more fragile, less capable of true conquest. And yet, how many modern rulers of business, love, and ambition still fall for the same illusion? They buy influence instead of earning it. They fake wealth instead of building it. They manipulate appearances instead of mastering substance. For a while, they shine bright. But the candle that burns fastest burns shortest, and when it dies completely. So I ask you, do you want a spark or a fire that outlasts the night? Do you want a taste of power or power that endures when storms rage? If it is the latter, abandon the hunger for shortcuts. Embrace the grind others flee. For the man who builds slowly and strategically cannot be uprooted. The man who lunges for quick glory always can. But there is an enemy far more dangerous than shortcuts. Not external, not even obvious. It is inside you. It is the force that blinds reason, distorts judgment, and turns even wise men into fools. We call it emotion. Emotion, it is the oldest ruler of mankind. Older than kings, older than law, older than reason itself. And yet, no tyrant is more destructive. Why? Because emotion blinds. It distorts reality. It makes you believe what you wish to be true, rather than what is true. It convinces generals they are invincible, lovers they are adored, and dreamers they are prepared, when they are not. Consider the fall of Napoleon. The man was a master strategist, a commander of rare genius. But in 1812, his pride, his emotional intoxication with his own legend, drove him to invade Russia. He ignored the evidence, the warnings, the simple truth of distance and winter. Reason whispered caution. Emotion screamed conquest. The result, hundreds of thousands dead, an empire bleeding out from its own arrogance. One man's pride blinded him to reality and cost him everything. Now ask yourself, where does emotion blind you? Pride makes you believe you are ready when you are not. Fear makes you see threats where none exist. Desire convinces you to pursue people or prizes that will ruin you. And anger. Anger blinds faster than any other. It whispers that vengeance is victory, when often it is suicide. Emotion is not the enemy. It is a weapon, dangerous when untrained, powerful when mastered. But mastery requires distance. You must see your own feelings as if they belong to another man. Coldly, objectively, without indulgence. Psychologists call this emotional regulation. the ability to separate reaction from response. But I call it something simpler, the art of not being a fool. Look around you. Why do so many fail in business? They chase trends out of greed, panic at the first sign of loss, or fall in love with their own ideas. Why do relationships decay? Because people mistake lust for loyalty, comfort for connection, and drama for depth. All emotional illusions. All traps that could be avoided by a single question: what is real? The human mind resists this question because emotion feels alive. It makes life intense, exciting, meaningful. But intensity is not accuracy. Emotion tells you what you want. Reason tells you what is. Only a fool confuses the two. Even princes fall prey to this blindness. A ruler who loves his reputation will sacrifice his kingdom to protect it. A commander who hates his rival will rush into traps to destroy him. A lover who fears loneliness will tolerate betrayal to avoid it. Each thinks they are acting with purpose. In truth, they are being led by invisible strings, puppets of their own impulses. The skilled manipulator understands this better than anyone. He knows you can move a man faster with fear than with facts. He knows pride can make a person ignore reason, even betray themselves. And he knows that in every negotiation, the one who controls their emotions controls the outcome. Because he sees reality. The other sees only what their feelings allow them to see. So let me ask you, can you look at your own ambition without pride? Can you face danger without fear? Can you plan a victory without greed clouding your judgment? If you cannot, you are not the strategist. You are the pawn. Do not misinterpret me. Emotion can serve power. Desire can inspire creation. Fear can sharpen instincts. Even anger, properly aimed, can drive decisive action. But only when they are bound by reason, like war horses chained to a chariot. Unleash them, and they will trample you before you reach the battlefield. The wise man does not kill emotion. He enslaves it, harnesses it, uses it as fuel while keeping his hand firmly on the reins. And yet, there is a deeper delusion. One that does not come from emotion, but from belief. The belief that success is earned by merit alone. That destiny rewards the deserving. A fatal myth. Many cling to a comforting belief that life is fair. That effort alone earns reward. That virtue, talent, or good intentions will eventually be recognized and crowned with success. But history and reality are merciless in disproving this myth. Do you think the Medici rose to power because they deserved it? No, they seized it. Through cunning alliances, strategic marriages, ruthless elimination of rivals, and relentless accumulation of wealth. Not through prayer, not through talent alone, and certainly not through waiting for justice to deliver what they wanted. Deserved success is a fantasy. Power is not awarded like a prize for good behavior. It is taken by those who understand that the world distributes rewards not by fairness, but by leverage. Yet most people refuse to believe this. Why? Because the myth of deserved success feels moral. It makes the world seem ordered, predictable, even righteous. It whispers, keep working, keep dreaming. Your moment will come because you have earned it. But this belief kills ambition as surely as laziness does. Because if you believe success is deserved, you will wait for recognition instead of forcing it. You will cling to the illusion that destiny has a ledger, keeping track of your effort, ready to pay you in glory. But destiny keeps no ledger. Only the strong write their names into its pages. Look around you. How many talented people live invisible lives? How many good, honest, hard-working men die with their dreams unfulfilled, not because they lacked merit, but because they lacked strategy. They assumed virtue would be enough, and in doing so, they left the gates of opportunity unguarded, so others, less noble but more ruthless, could walk through. Consider the case of Girolamo Savonarola, the Dominican friar who preached against corruption in Florence. He believed his moral vision would grant him the city's loyalty forever. He mistook righteousness for power. But when Pope Alexander VI excommunicated him, when enemies plotted and allies wavered, Savonarola's belief in deserved protection shattered. He was arrested, tortured, and burned alive in the very square where he once preached virtue. His mistake, confusing being right with being untouchable. And yet, The same mistake is made today. By dreamers who believe talent guarantees fame, by lovers who believe loyalty guarantees devotion, by professionals who believe hard work guarantees wealth. None of these are true, because the world is not moved by worth, it is moved by force, influence, and cunning. Does this mean merit is meaningless? No, skill, knowledge, and discipline are vital. But they are not tickets to the throne. They are tools, and tools are only useful in the hands of those who know where and how to strike. Psychologists speak of the just world fallacy, the bias that makes people believe good things happen to good people and bad things to bad ones. But reality cares nothing for goodness. It rewards preparation, strategy, timing, and the will to act when others hesitate. Ask yourself now, do you believe you deserve success? Because if you do, you are already in danger. You may be waiting instead of moving. You may be hoping instead of planning. And while you wait, another, less gifted but more ruthless, takes what you believe is yours. The truth is harsh, but liberating. You deserve nothing. You earn what you can seize, secure, and defend. Not because life is cruel, but because life is competitive, and those who play by the rules of fairness lose to those who play by the rules of power. So shed the myth. Abandon the idea that the world owes you. The world owes you nothing. Accept the chance to take what you are bold enough to claim. But claiming it requires more than talent, more than confidence, more than hunger. It requires ruthless clarity, seeing through illusion to the very bone of reality. There comes a point when ambition must face its final test. Not courage, not talent, not even luck, but clarity, ruthless clarity, the ability to strip illusion, ego, and wishful thinking from every decision you make. Most men cannot do this. They tell themselves comforting lies to soften the edge of reality. They exaggerate their strengths, ignore their weaknesses, and pretend the obstacles before them are smaller than they are. But power does not bend to lies. Power rewards only the man who dares to see the world exactly as it is, sharp, cold, unyielding. Consider the rise of Caesar Borgia. Fortune handed him power, but it was his clarity that kept it, at least for a time. He saw that his enemies were many and his allies unreliable. He did not hope they would stay loyal. He did not trust the appearance of peace. He acted ruthlessly, securing fortresses, placing loyal commanders, and eliminating rivals before they could strike. He did not allow sentiment or pride to cloud his vision. He saw only what was, and what must be done. Now look at yourself. When you plan your life, your career, your ambitions, do you see reality as it is? Or do you see what you want to see? Do you underestimate threats because admitting their full size frightens you? Do you overestimate your position because pride tells you failure is beneath you? These mistakes are not trivial. They are fatal. Ruthless clarity is not about pessimism. It is not the habit of expecting doom at every turn. It is the discipline of removing distortion from judgment, of looking at every situation, every ally, every enemy, every decision, with eyes that neither hope nor fear, but calculate. Psychologists call this cognitive biasing, training the mind to recognize and strip away mental distortions. But I call it survival, because the man who cannot see clearly cannot act wisely, and the man who cannot act wisely does not hold power for long. The danger lies in how subtle distortion can be. Your emotions twist facts, your ego filters information, your memory reshapes the past to protect your pride. And society, society teaches you to see the world through ideals, morals, and myths designed to pacify you, not empower you. Do you see now why ruthless clarity is so rare? It demands that you question everything, even your own mind. It demands that you strip away excuses and confront uncomfortable truths. You may not be as skilled as you think. Your allies may not be as loyal as they seem. Your enemies may be far closer than you wish to believe. But here is the reward. Once you see clearly, you cannot be deceived. Not by others. Not by yourself. You begin to notice the cracks in a smiling rival's face. The hesitation in a partner's voice. The weakness in your own defenses. Weakness you can now reinforce before it is struck. This clarity becomes a weapon sharper than any blade. It turns negotiation into conquest, risk into opportunity, and hesitation into decisive strike. It allows you to move like a chess master, anticipating 3 moves ahead, while others stumble blind across the board. Yet few will embrace this discipline. Why? Because truth is heavy. It cuts, it demands sacrifice. It forces you to kill illusions you love, about your worth, your safety, your destiny. And most would rather cling to a lie than face such cold light. But not you. Not if you wish to rise, for the man who can see with ruthless clarity becomes untouchable. He is not caught off guard. He is not undone by surprise. He sees and therefore he controls. And yet there is one final truth, darker than all the others, a truth about the nature of power itself and why few dare to hold it for long. That is the lesson to come. Power is never loud. Control is never obvious. The greatest strategist rules not by force, but by guiding others to act as if it were their own idea. You have now seen the illusions that blind men, the hope that lulls them, the shortcuts that trap them, the emotions that mislead them, and the myths that keep them weak. Each one is a chain, and most are too proud to notice they wear it. But you see now what others do not, that the first conquest is not of land or fortune, it is of perception, your own and theirs. So I ask you, will you remain among the blind, or will you move as one who sees? Leave your thoughts below. Subscribe for more strategies in the art of unseen influence, and share this with those who dare to look beyond illusion. The next lesson begins soon, and it will not wait for those who hesitate.